Okay.
God, we look to you.
How you guys doing?
About the singing, God. About the song. Your name is high.
November 11, 2010, I hung out with some of my friends, and about 4 or 5 were discussing. There was nothing we were not talking about. Talked about girls, politics, what is happening in society, most things guys gist about. And I was with a friend of mine called Alex. There was just an urge for me to, start talking about, God and life after here. For some reason, I didn't know why. And that topic came up, and I was talking to Alex, man, I think we should start paying attention to, life after here. And Alex told me something that will never leave my head till tomorrow. He said, Williams, I beg, I'm only 18, because it was 18 as of the time. I think I was 20. That was about 10 years ago. So he said, I'm only 18. I'm too young for God. I don't have that kind of time now. Fast forward 30 minutes later, I went home and I was so tired. I didn't take off my clothes. I just took off my shoe and my socks, right? And I laid on the bed. And he was supposed to go to the club. He wanted us to go to the club. I told him, right from I've not been a club person. So I told him I'm tired, I have to go home. And I went home and went to the club. And, but while I was sleeping, that point where you're about to sleep, but you're still awake. In between that, period, I noticed something very profound happened. I got up immediately, and I wasn't sure why I got up. I was standing, but I wasn't feeling the floor. I wasn't feeling the temperature, if where I was standing was hot or cold. And I began to ask myself what's going on. My senses were like, if you asked me 2,000 times 658 million, I could answer without even thinking twice. I didn't know what was going on. Everything was really detailed. The wall was detailed. I could pick the detailing of my curtains. Everything was just highlighted. I couldn't explain what was happening to me, and I was scared. I was panicking, wondering what was going on. I turned to where I got up from my bed, and lo and behold, I saw somebody wearing my clothes on my bed. Please follow me. And I was like, the first thing that came to my mind is, I don't have a twin, so why is somebody wearing my clothes and it's on my bed? And I noticed something. I have these two things on my body that, if you look very well, I have a mark here and I have another mark here, right? I've had this since I was a baby. So when I was trying to feel myself, I couldn't see these marks on the body that was standing. But the other guy that was on the bed was lying like this. So I could see the mark very well on him because there was light there. And mind you, at this time I was looking at him from the back because of how I got up. He was backing me. And out of curiosity, I really wanted to know who this person that was on the bed, was. And when I turned and looked, to my greatest shock, it was my face that was on that person's body. I still haven't, I still wasn't sure what was going on with me until it dawned on me that I just died. I just left my body. Now, somebody said it's not death, it's out of body experience. That death sometimes is when you've crossed, but out of body experiences, you can actually come out from your body and still be there with your body, see your body, but you've not actually gone to the greater beyond. But for me, with my understanding, then I was dead. I left my body. That was when it dawned on me what was going on. I went on my face, I was crying. And yes, when you die, when you leave your body, you can cry. I was praying, now why was I crying? Was I crying because, there was something I knew that evening. I knew I wasn't really at my best with God. I knew my relationship with God was a little bit somehow, right? So, when you die, you don't need to debate with anybody where you're going. Deep down, you already know. I can't explain it. And that day, I knew I was not going to heaven. I don't know, but I just knew I was not going to make heaven. And I started crying, and I started, a whole lot was going on. And in that instance, while I was crying, there was a flash, a white light that hit me. and immediately I got up. But this time, I didn't get up from the guy that was on his knees crying. I got up from the body, and I tell you, the body is the weakest thing ever. It was so sluggish, and when I got up, I realized that everything that happened while I was out of my body was about 2 minutes, but when I got up from that body, 2 hours must have passed, because I knew I left where I was 11:30. I got home around 12-ish, so that was when I slept, and by that time to then it was past 2, but it was about 2 minutes. That was when I realized that in the realm of the spirit there is no time. While I was there crying, thanking God for a second chance, obviously, I'm back to my body. I was scared to sleep. I was just in panic. My phone rang, and one of the guys we were hanging out with that night said, Williams, where are you? I said, I'm at home. He said, Alex just got into a car accident, and I think he's dead. What happened? He came out from the club. He was drunk, driving home. He got into this trailer, and the trailer crushed him and killed him, and he died. Immediately they told me that. What came to my mind immediately was the last thing Alex told me. Alex told me at the age of 18, he said, Williams, I'm still too young to serve God. I am not ready. Now, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to, I wish, my prayer to you tomorrow is that I just wish Alex, there was just a gap that he had to meet somebody that introduced him to Christ that night, and he gave his life to Christ, and I just wish that's the case. But if that is not the case, and we know that there is heaven and there is hell, and with the thing Alex said, and his present condition, the way he died, what that means is that Alex, if not going to heaven, would have been hell. So that leaves me with a question, and that was, if Alex is really dead, and for some reason he couldn't make heaven, he's somewhere now. This thing happened 10 years ago, and Alex's body has been buried. We buried the cadaver, because this is the cadaver. And this is an opportunity for me to say this. I always tell people, it is better to believe that there is heaven and hell and die and find out that there is not true, that there is no heaven and hell, than not to believe and die and find out that it's true. Because what happens then is that it will now be too late for you to fix. Alex died more than 10 years ago. A lot has happened in 10 years. I know for sure that Alex is somewhere. And if Alex is in hell, Alex is not going to be there for 100 years, or 200 years, or 2,000 years, or 200,000 years, or 200 million years, or 200 billion years. Alex is going to be there forever. Burning and asking God to give him a second chance. Ever since that day, please follow me here. This is my point. The fear has not been really to die. The fear has been, what if I don't do what God has called me here on earth to do before I die? And that is the question I'm throwing to you. Why are you scared to die? Why must God keep you alive? We are going through a very trying times in the world. There is a pandemic going on around the world. People are trying to save their lives. People are trying to save the lives of their family. Of what use? How will God keeping you alive benefit the kingdom of God? So that you do what? When all this goes away, you continue with your life. You buy another car, or you buy that private jet, or you buy that shoe that you wanted to buy. The ones you have now, how are you using them? The shoe you have, you can't wear it out. That latest car you bought, where are you driving into? There is lockdown. That croc skin bag you bought, Who is caring about those things now? You see, because what has happened in our lifetime is that we pay so much attention in the material things of life that we forget to pay attention to the most important thing, which is our soul. And sometimes in trying to pursue these things, we damn our own soul. I'm not saying that anything is wrong with getting all those things. I have most of those things. But you see, when you make that thing your focus in life, forgetting the reason why you're called on earth, that is where you begin to struggle. Why should God keep you alive? What makes you better than the people that have died? People are dying. A 17-year-old died. Now we are thinking that this thing is only for older people. A 17-year-old died. How are we now going to? How are you going to reconcile that? How are you better than people that are in the grave? The people that you're older than, people that are older than you. What makes you think you're too special? Why should God keep you alive? That's the question I'm asking. How is your being alive and breathing benefiting to his kingdom? Because you see, what you have to realize, and what the Bible, made us understand in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 from verse 10 is, first of all, we are not here on our own accord. We are here on someone else's time. The life you are living now is the life of God. I think you should open that part of the Bible and read it, because sometimes it's always good when we are saying these things. You will be reading it so that you understand. 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Let me just read a little bit from verse 10. He said, "For we believers will be called to account and must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each may be repaid for what he or she has done in the body, whether good or bad. That is, each will be held responsible for his action, purpose, goals, motive, the use or misuse of his time, opportunities, and abilities on earth. Therefore, since we know the fear of the Lord and understand the importance and obedience and worship, we pursue people to be reconciled to him." How is your being alive benefiting the kingdom of God? How is that going to actually help the kingdom of God? Why should God keep you alive? So that you can buy another car and buy another house and buy. Because if we don't get this particular thing right, we will keep chasing shadow. This has nothing now to do with, this church, this man of God. I'm talking about your own life now. You. Ever since you stopped going to the church because you believe that all men of God are fake, ever since you stopped listening to, how has that increased and improved your Christian life? If you die today, how are you going to give account of your life? Because all of us are going to face the judgment seat of Christ. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 from verse 20, in fact, that's if you read up, it said we are ambassadors for Christ. If you check out what the word ambassador is, it's in the literal meaning means, a diplomat of a state sent to another state or another country to represent the state that sends him or her. That's an ambassador. Now, if the Bible calls us an ambassador, what that means is that we are not from here. The Bible even made it clear. It said we are in the world, but we are not of the world. What that means is that even though we are here, we are not from here. So if we are here,